The ruling political class has made their priorities clear. They are going to let poor families starve, and the money that they're finding is going to pay for the military so we can go to war on Venezuela. Millions of Americans are expecting to lose access to their SNAP or food stamp benefits. This is going to affect 1 in 8 Americans, so millions and millions of people. And about 40% of the people who use SNAP are under the age of 18, so children. And SNAP makes it possible for parents who are poor to feed themselves and their kids. SNAP getting cut off is a really dramatic escalation of the government shutdown. They're saying that the money for SNAP has run out. But where I live in Chicago, I can't help but notice the masked men in military garb running up on people, jumping out of their trucks, and kidnapping people off the sidewalk. That say U.S. Border Patrol in the back. Who's paying for all that gas? Who's paying for the rental cars? So Trump announced that he found money to pay people in the military. And then he keeps bombing boats off the coast of Venezuela, claiming they're drug boats with absolutely no proof. Who's paying for that, if not the government? The ruling political class has made their priorities clear. They are going to let poor families starve, and the money that they're finding is going to pay for the military so we can go to war on Venezuela. This is sort of just a microcosm of life before the government shutdown. It's like when we're asking for things like universal health care, can we please have health care in supposedly the richest country in the history of the world? If I work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6, sometimes 2 jobs, why can't I have free health care? I'm contributing to this economy. What am I getting in return? And oftentimes it's increasingly, as time goes on, absolutely nothing. And sometimes when you're poor enough, you can qualify for SNAP. But if Democrats and Republicans can't agree on a budget, guess who's the first to get cut loose? It's you. It's the country's most vulnerable populations. So even the most means-tested, meager, social safety net we have is on the chopping block immediately. They don't even think about cutting off your SNAP benefits. But if the military were to not get paid, if we couldn't afford to pay Lockheed Martin their $1 billion contract for the month, that's world ending. That's something that needs to get funded quickly. When the dust settles and this government shutdown's over, what they're going to do and work on next in Congress is the Pentagon budget. They do it around this time every year, and it's going to be nearly $1 trillion. And it's probably not going to take very long because they don't have a ton to argue about. They all agree on giving the Pentagon unchecked spending. They've been increasing the budget every single year for decades, and they're all paid off by the weapons industry. Not only do they want to take away your SNAP benefits, claiming that they don't have the money for it, they want to take more money from your paycheck to go to war and to kidnap people from your apartment building, constantly being like, we spend too much money on welfare. What about the welfare going to the Pentagon budget? You know, the Pentagon's never passed an audit. 90% of Lockheed Martin's revenue comes from government contracts. It sounds like Lockheed Martin's getting a slice of socialism, but we have to fill out forms every 6 months to prove we're poor enough to deserve Medicaid. So they've agreed that they have money for guns, but not butter. We don't have to buy into that propaganda. We really don't. They're saying they're doing it for our national security. Going to war with Venezuela makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense, especially if you can't put food on the table for your kids. Like, that's security. Being able to go to the hospital if you get seriously injured and not worrying about if you can pay the bill or not. That's security. And there's a level of dignity we are all entitled to just on the base fact that we are human beings living on this earth. So it's time to cut the Pentagon budget. It's been time to cut the Pentagon budget. It's time to stop accepting war propaganda that they use to justify increased Pentagon spending. But it's also time to stop accepting the crumbs that they give to us outside of government shutdowns. SNAP's not enough. Medicaid is not enough. Medicare as it stands is not enough. We need a hell of a lot more, and we deserve a lot more than what we're getting. Could you imagine if they treated us like Lockheed Martin, giving us trillions of dollars to make it? That doesn't work. No, I'm kidding. Well,